implementer, integrator. Often people get these two terms confused. So I am an EOS implementer. Brandon, you are a professional integrator.
Yes.
What implementers do is teach, facilitate, and coach leadership teams to mastery of the EOS tools. So I'm coming in and doing that over a period of about 5 days over the course of a year. Integrators do something very, very different.
Yes, we are the practitioners. So if you're the doctor, I'm the physical therapist actually getting you to do the exercises. So I'm working with the visionary on a weekly basis.
You're actually a member of the leadership team.
Yes, indeed. And that leadership team, practicing EOS, utilizing the tools, and making sure that the visionary's ultimate goal for the company is being executed throughout, and using EOS to do that.
So I'm seeing a leadership team maybe 5 days out of the year. You as an integrator, and I'll say a professional integrator is working with multiple companies. How many days are you seeing them?
I am typically with a company 1 day a week, and I am that bridge to them realizing it's time to bring in the full-time integrator, which can be 6 to 18 months. But when they make that transition, they cross the bridge, so to speak, to that need for a full-timer. That one is there every day of the week that the visionary needs them.
So we can talk about a specific situation. I've run into quite a few of these. Let's just call it a typical entrepreneurial company, has a couple dozen employees. They're 5, 6, 7 million in revenue, and they have ambition, but they're stuck. The organization has reached a level of complexity, and whatever was working for them previously is no longer working. And they're a little bit frustrated with that. They know they want something greater than what they're actually achieving, so they've investigated EOS, and they're interested in how to utilize EOS to accomplish and gain traction in their business. So for me, it's about teaching a simple system. For me, it's about teaching a proven system with simple practical tools that help them to get really good at 3 things: vision, traction, and healthy. Vision from the standpoint of getting those leaders all 100% on the same page with where they're taking the organization and how they're going to get there. Traction from the standpoint of instilling the discipline and the accountability through the tools so that they can achieve that vision and feel that they're making continuous progress towards it every day, every week, every quarter, every year. Yeah. And then healthy is helping them to become a healthy, functional, cohesive leadership team. Because most of the times what I find organizations like this, the leaders are very well intentioned and often quite strong, but they're not often working well as a team. And as goes the leadership team, so goes the rest of the organization. Yeah. So ultimately we get to a point through this process where everybody in the organization is crystal clear on the vision. They're all executing against it with discipline and accountability, and you have an entire organization rowing in the same direction. Yes. That's the implementer's role, is to teach the leadership team. The integrator's role in that is?
Yeah, from an integrator standpoint, the EOS is a common language to use. So that sets, my goals mirror that of an implementer, which is set and get traction for that visionary, but as a practical purpose, it sets the cadence for the company, a way of setting goals on a quarterly basis known as rocks for the visionary and the leadership team, for everybody to be on that same page and working to the common goal and knowing what tools, what processes, what language they are going to be using on a daily, weekly, and quarterly basis to achieve those goals. And by that, it frees up that visionary to focus on big picture items, big picture relationships, and ultimately get the traction and 80% strong in everything that they're doing and having everybody row in the right direction.
So if we were to take the EOS terms out for a moment and you were to put an integrator's seat in terms that people are familiar with in larger organizations, what would it be?
Yeah, so you could look at it as a COO. You could even look at it as a CEO, because in essence, an integrator is running the company. We are on the same page. We set specific time aside to get aligned with the visionary, to understand where he or she wants to take the company, and then take that vision, and it's my job to implement that to integrate that, to use it, to push it down the organization and get everybody to adhere to it and achieve those goals. And that is ultimately my way. So you could put a label on it, CEO, COO, that's what one of it would be, but it's in essence integrating that vision and utilizing the tools to achieve the goal.
So if I'm sitting there as the visionary in the organization, I've got a certain set of skills, one of which is visualization. I'm really great at visualizing the future, and I often have a lot of ideas, so I'm very, very creative, got a lot of creative energy going on, and culture is very important to me. Attracting people who I believe are going to be a great fit for the organization is really important to me, that they're all working and happy working together. Talk to me for a moment about what the integrator is doing. What is the skill that the integrators bring to the table?
So my guess is that visionary is not really wanting to go out and do the hard work of finding people, but they want to be able to do the process of choosing or actually being part of getting the right members. And even if that's not it, they want to set, what does that big picture culture look like? What am I doing to make it their personal culture that everybody is attracted to running and getting? And so my goal is, how do I present the right people? How do I keep the culture consistent throughout the organization? What are we doing to attract those right people to the situation? So it's outside team members, it's inside team members, it's a little bit of a dance to get things going.
What are the nuts and bolts of actually accomplishing the vision that I have?
Exactly. Because there's a lot going into hiring the right people that fit within the culture of the company, and those little things are usually what bogs down that visionary.
Yeah.
So it's the integrators and the HR teams or the recruiting firm's jobs to present and bring on board the right people.
So if I'm in the visionary seat, I know from my own experience being a visionary that one of the things I tended to avoid was difficult conversations with my leadership team.
Yes.
Conflict avoidance.
Yes.
There was a certain state of harmony that I was always trying to seek, and didn't like things, people upsetting the apple cart. How do you help me achieve that?
Well, I'm the one often handling those conversations for you. It is a very common practice for visionaries to want that, the sense of harmony, people happy, not to upset the apple cart, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, it's a business, not a nonprofit. It's not an accidental nonprofit, as you often point out. You do have to make decisions, and not everybody is going to fit into the company and the culture. And so those conversations have to be had, and often that falls on the integrator to bring those about.
Yeah.
And put light on those spots and solve those difficult conversations.